What was yesterday all about, Bruce, for those who might not be familiar?
Well, Rich, I think a lot more top recruits signed this week and are signing this week in this early signing period than anybody really would have anticipated, when this thing was first created. Everybody I had talked to, or coaches, were saying, you know what, we expect in the last week 75% of our class to sign. Well, you look at it, 9 of the top 10 recruits in the country in the class of 2018, they signed yesterday. I think it's going to be by the end of tomorrow, it will be at least 24 of the top 30. So all that drama that you normally expect on the first Wednesday in February at quote-unquote signing day, that's going to be diffused a lot. And there was way less of a TV presence. I mean, ESPN, which used to have so much high wattage devoted towards signing day, it was on the SEC network. It was on the Big Ten network. There was a little ESPNU, but it was very low-key on that front. And I think so you had less drama. And the big winners were Georgia. Kirby Smart is cleaning up. I mean, 6 5-star guys, the top quarterback recruit in the country, Justin Fields, which is pretty remarkable when you consider that they had the all-SEC freshman who led them into the playoff, Jake Fromm, and now they have a quarterback who a lot of people think is much more talented than the last 2 years when they've had 5-star quarterbacks come in. So, hats off to Georgia, hats off to Clemson, and I think we're seeing a lot of people still try to figure out how do we do this juggling act between getting our teams ready for the bowl sign, and also you're going to have a lot of coaching shakeup with assistants that's going to start happening right now.
So why did this take place? Why did this happen?
There's been a real push for a while, Rich, from coaches saying, you know what, let's try to do something for these recruits who feel like they're just getting hounded. They made their decision up in, some of them in the spring of their junior year. They know where they want to go. Let's get it out of the way so we don't have to keep recruiting these kids for, an added 2 months. Now, I think what some of the smaller schools have said is, hey, we'd love that because then, our kids don't get poached. We're on to them. We're the ones who stick our necks out. We offer them early. We do all the recruiting, and then all of a sudden, these bigger schools in the last month and a half after their seasons are done, they look in and they're at the top of the food chain, and they can swoop in and get some of these kids. I mean, and what you saw, and there's a good example of this yesterday. There was an offensive lineman from the state of Washington, had been committed to Washington State for a while. USC tried to come in on him late, and that kid was like, no, I'm already set for and signed with Washington State. I think if this is the normal process where he has to wait until early February, that kid might be a USC Trojan. I think examples of that are happening more and more this year.
Bruce Feldman, Fox Sports, SI.com, joining me here. So is this a good thing? You think it's a good thing?
I think there's some good elements. Here's the downside to it, and not many people have brought this up, and this is why I was skeptical of an early signing period going through. The academic picture for these kids, meaning you don't have even a first full semester grades come in, test scores for their senior year. So you're going to have a lot of kids who schools are going to roll the dice on, and they're going to sign, and they're probably not going to qualify. And what it's also doing is this recruiting calendar keeps moving up earlier and earlier. I mean, it's not uncommon now to see sophomores and freshmen in high school getting offers. Now, you can't sign that right away, but I just think, people are going to be moving earlier and earlier. They're going to know less and less about the academics, and you're going to have a lot of bad decisions that are going to be made in the wake of it. And I'm not sure what's going to happen to some of those kids who end up getting squeezed in that. Do they go to junior colleges that, I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing because these coaches can't help themselves. They're just so competitive with each other. They don't do anything in moderation.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.